Good morning and welcome to the NBA Daily for December 8th, 2025. I'm Dave DuFour here with Zena Keita and Es Baraheni. Coming up, is it time to panic for the Cavs? Probably. LeBron James is old, but you wouldn't know it on Sunday. And we're going to make some cup picks for the quarterfinals. Good morning, everybody. What's up, guys? Hope you had a good weekend.
Morning.
Yeah, you guys were busy all weekend, going to games. Yeah. Zena's on TV Saturday night, Sunday night. S just
living life,
just being at the game.
In Toronto.
Yeah, man. Look, it's cold out here. I'm moving in slow motion.
That's right. And we're all going to be in Vegas next week for the semifinals and then for the finals of the NBA Cup. So we're going to talk about the NBA Cup quarterfinals games later on in the show. But I got to start. And Zena, I want to start with you here. You got a chance to dig in on Cavs Warriors the other night, and we've been worried about the Cavs for a minute. They're not really living up to last year's expectations. We knew that this year would probably be a little bit of a step back, just being more experimental. You know, they have to address the failures that they've had the last few years in the playoffs, and I just don't like what they're doing, Zena, right? Like the results aren't there. They just don't seem like they've got much fire. And at the risk of sounding cliche and like an old school guy, they are a little soft.
Oof. I mean, if you mean soft, you mean soft
He's
tissue.
Not lying.
No, they're just a little soft. They can get beat up. You know, I feel like they get punched and they don't always get back up.
It's true. I mean, there's one thing I'll say is this. The Cavaliers have been dealt a tough hand. However, there's not too much pity that you can throw around with them because everyone's been dealt tough hand this season. There are so many teams that are experiencing injuries and inconsistencies in their lineups and not having enough time to build chemistry with your starters. And you look at the fact that Jared Allen has missed 5 games now. Of course, we've known that Darius Garland and that backcourt with S has missed time. Like there's not S. Donovan Mitchell.
I mean, I do play like Spider. I'm not gonna lie. I got the in and out,
Spider.
little wavy dribble. No problem.
Not the same backcourt. But of course, they haven't been able to build all of that. And I'll give them credit that in the midst of the injuries and the inconsistencies, they've been able to find some diamonds in the rough in Jalen Tyson and Naquan Tomlin, even Craig Porter Jr. being able to contribute and such. But that's been the issue with the Cavs. Is that they're riding the wave of last year's success, of how efficient and proficient they were on offense. We remember what we felt like waiting for that OKC Cavaliers matchup and then the rematch. Like it was so much fun watching them. And they still came into that game against the Warriors over the weekend in the top 10, of course, in offensive efficiency. Like they were still someone that could put up a lot of numbers. But when you really look at it and you break this down, I said this while we were preparing to do the post game and pregame for the matchup between teams. I was like, guys, just watch out. Even if the Warriors find a way to come out and dominate this team, fourth quarter, Donovan Mitchell is going to come clean up messes. And that's exactly what he's had to do for multiple games this season. It hasn't been the clear-cut dominance that you expect out of the Cavaliers all season long. It has been ups and downs. Sometimes they're running, sometimes they're going. But the main thing you can count on is an Evan Mobley cleanup or a Donovan Mitchell cleanup. And you can't win a lot of basketball games that way. You can get picked apart very easily from a defensive perspective that way. And they're not good enough defensively. They're long, they're athletic, don't get me wrong, but they're not as physical as they need to be. Yeah. And you're seeing that they are just good enough in a lot of categories, right? They're just outside the top 10 in offensive efficiency now. They're 8th in the Eastern Conference. There's different statistical measures that show you like they're not bad,
right?
But they're not dominant, in the way that they were.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly how it feels watching them. I watched that Warriors game too, and everybody's been wondering why I'm growing this mustache. It's because of Pat Spencer. I'm growing it in honor.
No, kids listening to this show, we won't make that.
Yeah. No, but look, he's on the Cavs side of things. Truthfully, the physicality is the number one thing that jumps out to me. I know people will talk about the injuries, and rightfully so. the fact that they're missing, Max Strus is a big factor.
Yeah.
Jared Allen in and out of the lineup. Darius Garland in and out of the lineup. I don't think Lonzo Ball has panned out particularly well for them to start this season. They are missing that level of depth. They are missing Ty Jerome,
Big
who
time.
last year was this like in a pinch offensive creator for them when Garland wasn't available or when Mitchell didn't have it going. And to your point, Zena, like, yeah, they're relying on Donovan Mitchell a lot. And what was the one thing we saw last year in the playoffs with them? A lot of reliance on Donovan Mitchell. I just don't think this is the same. I don't know. It just doesn't feel like that. It feels like what's the definition of insanity? Trying to do the same thing over and over again. And that's what this Cavs team is at right now. But on the Warriors side of things, man, Pat Spencer's hooping. Oh my goodness.
It's fun.
Lacrosse player all time. And now just comes in and just wants to be a hooper. He's very much so a Warriors type player, by the way. I just wanted to throw it out there, but he's been awesome. Shout out to Pat.
Yeah. With the Cavs, guys, you ready to panic? Like, does this team need to just should they be calling about Giannis? Right? Like, let's say this. Should they be calling about Giannis? Should they be calling about some of these other guys? Okay. So, I mean, every team should call about Giannis, of course. But, I mean, they should they offer, like, Evan Mobley? Like, is it that level of pressure for the Cavs? I mean, is that insane?
I would love to see a front court duo of Evan Mobley and Giannis Antetokounmpo would be insane.
Yeah.
But I feel like the likes of a Jared Allen fit more with what Giannis has had in his career alongside him, only because of just how downhill Giannis is. And also Evan Mobley is starting to, find his way and being someone that handles the ball and also steps outside away from the basket. And so I just feel like the spacing might be a little off, whereas Jared Allen can play more closer to the basket. The high-low can happen. That's the only thought there. But
I don't know if they have enough to go out and trade for Jared Allen. If trade for Giannis Antetokounmpo, if they don't involve Evan Mobley in a trade, like does Jared Allen and Darius Garland get you in the door? Maybe it opens up a conversation for them to stay competent. I think that's a pretty decent trade from the Bucks perspective, but you want more than that if you're the Bucks. I'll ask you guys this: do you think this team is the same in February? Do you think they make any sort of move? Forget Giannis.
I would say this.
Anything else?
It's tough when you're as good as they probably feel like they are at full health. It's tough to say we might take a step back. And unless there's some kind of a surefire, again, you're getting Giannis.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You do that. I just don't know that there's a surefire upgrade and for what they need. It could just be, you mentioned Ty Jerome, and I've said for a couple years now, this team was like a Dylan Brooks guy away from being conference finals level. Like they just needed someone with an edge. And maybe that's the type of player they can go out and find. I just don't know. I don't know if that's a big enough swing for a team that we're really seeing. Like this is year 3. This is not really year 2. I know it's year 2 with Kenny Atkinson, but they lost in the playoffs 2 years in a row, pretty much the same way. And we're kind of watching them fizzle a little bit now.
Yeah.
I think we're also giving a disservice to the physicality that Isaac Okoro brought this team as well. I think that he also was a factor in just on the defensive end, being someone that can match up against some of the best folks on the other side of the ball. But that's a really good question. If DeAndre Hunter goes back to the DeAndre Hunter we saw towards the end of the year,
right,
in terms of his creativity and productivity, it could be very different. It could be very different to get Jared Allen back in the mix, healthy, DeAndre Hunter creating more on the wing. We'll see.
Yeah. Guys, LeBron missed a game on Friday. And the Lakers could have just said, old man. He missed a game with sciatica, and apparently he's been diagnosed with arthritis in his foot, okay? This guy is old enough that he has arthritis. We're all going to have, it's going to happen to all of us, hopefully, right? If we're lucky, it will happen. Yeah. But it's happened to LeBron James. We kind of picked on him a little bit. We said he looked bad last week. Well, it had the game off. Sunday, he was awesome, 29 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, had 12 points in the fourth. He was hitting clutch shots. Okay, maybe he's not completely washed, but maybe he needs more rest than we're used to.
Yeah, maybe like if you have 3 games in 4 nights, he doesn't play one of those games like they just did, and at the same time, there's portions of the season where you might get an easy schedule playing, the Nets or the Wizards and whatnot. You let him take those days off because you need him for the long haul of the season. LeBron looked excellent tonight against the Sixers. He was knocking down his threes, which is obviously an improved part of his game. And I think that becomes even more important with the fact that he can't deal with the physicality as well as he used to. At the same time, he was getting to the basket. He hits 2 clutch shots, did the whole King James logo type of thing. But he looks good. And it's funny to have a guy be diagnosed with arthritis and then come back and drop 29 points. At the same time, guys, it is so easy for the Lakers offense. Like I was just watching them against the Sixers, and it's Luka Doncic is back too, by the way. Congratulations to the Doncic family. He got, multiple guys in pick and rolls, and then he would create an opportunity for LeBron or for Rui or for someone else to get a wide open shot. Then it's Austin Reeves creating off the dribble, pick and rolls, etc. And then that 2 to the ball, double team, create a wide open shot for DeAndre Ayton. There's just so many easy opportunities for this Lakers offense. They can't really defend, but they can score with anybody. And it's easy for this team right now. And now you add LeBron James into the fold where he can just knock down threes and attack tilted defenses. It's just too easy.
And then you add the fact that you've got Rui Hachimura that's just like finding himself into buckets on the floor because he's just got these facilitators all around. Like it's a really balanced offense right now for this team, which you would think hopefully helps LeBron with the arthritis in the long term, that maybe he doesn't have to do quite as much in comparison when he has that many tools all around him. But, to be fair, that scouting report or that injury report kind of sounds like all former ballers. Like I got carpal tunnel, y'all, and sciatica and all the different things. So I would imagine when you're second now all time in the amount of wins in the NBA's history behind Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, that you've probably picked up arthritis, sciatica, a few injuries or 2, and are still being able to drop 29 points.
The 41 doesn't really do you any favors either, Zena. I know you're a long ways off from that, but I will tell you, it's not helping him out a lot. But yeah, man, the Lakers look good. They look like again, I would not want to see this team in a playoff series. And even if I'm the Oklahoma City Thunder, because they've got guys, and sometimes
even
it's just
if you're
about
dealing
who's
with
got
arthritis.
The guy. That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, guys, we're going to find out, I think, in the future that the Orlando Magic built their arena on cursed ground or something, because Paolo Banchero came back on Friday. They get 1 game with everyone out there. Franz Wagner goes down in a loss on Sunday. And also, Jalen Suggs left the game with a groin injury. I want to start with Franz Wagner's knee injury first. We don't know what it is yet. We're going to hopefully find out here in the next day or two. It did not look good. Saw some photos. He was leaving, like using like an assisted, like a crutch to walk out of the arena. He left the game immediately. Exactly 1 year ago to the day that he tore his oblique. Right after, remember, Paolo and Franz had the same
twin oblique injuries,
where one guy was out, the other guy came back, and the other guy was out, and then Jalen Suggs gets hurt. And so, look, we're going to fast forward a little bit and think about the Cup game on Tuesday night that they've got against Miami. They just played Miami and won on Friday, but now they got to go into this game without Franz Wagner. And we've talked a lot about how they looked without Paolo. They have not looked good in the past without Franz, and especially without Jalen Suggs if he winds up missing any time. This is bad news for the Magic, who kind of have figured out who they are a little bit, right?
Yeah, that's the unfortunate part about this. It felt like they were finally starting to figure out the Bane part of the equation and make the offense flow a little bit better. Even Paolo, in that one game he came back, the offense looked good, like they were flowing. The passes were there. The playmaking, which me and you talked about, Dave, a couple of weeks ago, it was there even with Paolo. My kind of question moving forward is like, how does this team survive? I feel like they They have a level of depth now that they didn't have last season.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Anthony Black is showing out
really
more.
Great.
I think Tristan Da Silva they can trust in, and he slots in really well in their starting lineup. But ultimately, it's just like you lose Franz, who is a driver of your offensive engine, who's a really underrated defender for you too. How do you facilitate any sort of offense without him? I think it's leaning on Paolo Banchero more to be your playmaker. And what does that mean for this Magic offense that was really clicking on moving the ball? Like that's the question for this Magic offense moving forward, right?
Yeah.
I can't think of I was trying to look it up really quickly, but what the records were when each of those players were out last year. But what I do collectively, narratively remember is that at one point we were talking about Jamal Mosley being coach of the year. And the reason why was because amidst all of these injuries and how much hardship had fallen upon the Orlando Magic, they were winning games. And even if they weren't winning games, they were making things real hard. Like I vividly remember saying the words like, it's tough to go into the Magic arena and play against them. Like they're going to make it incredibly difficult for you to try and get a win out of their system of defense. And they're still a very similar defense. And I think that their team is even elevated from that perspective from last year. So maybe, you know, our producer can like put that in or supercut that in for what those records were, the on and offs from last year. But there's something to be said about how this team steps up in the midst of the absences from their stars. And they're going to have to do that again. And I think if there's any coach that can coach that out of players, Jamal Mosley is that guy.
Yeah. I'm with you, Es, though. I worry that the Paolo-centric offense is going to be a little bit too slow, and they're not going to be able to get the defenses in rotation the way that they have. Franz and Suggs, especially last year, they were the reason that team was able to survive without Paolo for such a long time. And Suggs just stirs the drink so much better than anybody else. Bane is doing a good job right now, but Suggs is hugely important.
That's the part I would kind of push back on. I think like this team is just fundamentally different than last year's team with Bane. And so you can shift some of the usage over to Desmond Bane now that Franz isn't there. You can allow him to play a little bit more freely. And so you might have, there's more there to this team than last year's team. So to your point, Zena, I think they have a chance to survive a little bit better than they did last year. But
including Black and Da Silva as far as ball handlers and
Tristan
shooters.
Da Silva has been really good for them.
Yeah,
I like him.
He's popped.
Yep. All right, guys, stick around. After the break, we're going to talk about some of these Cup quarterfinal games and make some picks. All right, guys, here on the NBA Daily, we respect the Cup.
Absolutely.
And we're going to Vegas. So I want to talk about these quarterfinals games. We talked a little bit about the Orlando Magic, what they're dealing with right now. No time to rest because you got the Miami Heat. Luckily, a home game for the Orlando Magic. They just played on Friday. The Magic got a 1-point win. But again, they're going to be without Franz Wagner. We're not sure about Jalen Suggs yet. Guys, who's moving on to Vegas in the semifinals between the Miami Heat and the Orlando Magic?
I'm going the Heat.
Well, yeah, I agree with you, Zena. I feel like, especially with the Magic injuries, you don't know if Suggs or Franz are going to play. I feel like it's going to be Miami. But if you watch Miami against the Kings, you might think that was a completely different team on Saturday night. They got destroyed by the Kings. But no, I think it's the Heat. They've been the better basketball team this season, and their style also will help them beat the Magic this year.
Well, guys, I believe in magic. I think Orlando's going to win this. Look, again, it's to Zena's point from what we were just talking about. Somehow they always surprise us when we think that they're going to lose because they're missing someone. They wind up winning. They find a way to do it. And for all of the hand wringing about Paolo Banchero and the way that the team changes when he's on the court, that guy is a game changer by himself. And in a single game, like you got to win a game. True. Who's the guy on the Miami Heat you're taking over Paolo Banchero?
Man, have you seen Stormin' Norman Powell?
Yeah, I was just going to say.
I'm going to take Paolo.
You talk about somebody that's going to close and somebody that's going to change a game. Norman Powell is going to change a game. And I think, one, for that game to end on like kind of like a heartbreaker shot, right? Bam Adebayo misses that jumper. Like, I feel like that's going to be resonating with them over the course of this weekend. And they're going to remember that and be like, let's clean this up. Let's get back to our high octane offense that we've been running. Like, they're dealing with it right now. They're licking a little bit of their wounds in Orlando. Miami's going to come in and say, let's take care of business.
Yeah, like Miami also has a few days off. Like Orlando played on Sunday, Miami played Saturday.
Exactly. Rested. And I don't think that Khalil Ware is going to go ahead and have another 4-point game against this Orlando team.
Okay, well, Orlando nightlife's undefeated, so watch yourself, Miami Heat. Don't you go to downtown Disney on the night before the game, and you watch out.
If there's any team that's ready, it's Miami.
Right. We got Knicks Raptors also on Tuesday night. Es, are you going to that? You going to be at the game?
I am going to that. You guys will see me at that game. Yeah,
that's right.
Very exciting. The closest I've ever been to playoff basketball in Toronto ever. Since covering the team. So we'll see how that goes. NBA Cup action. We're respecting it heavily. As
now,
you know.
Zena, the Knicks stink on the road, and they got to go to Toronto.
Yeah,
of all the adages that we use about sports, the defense, right? Defense travels. That one is legitimately true because shooting does not travel. And for the Knicks, it hasn't. They've been so bad on the road. I don't trust them to win this game. Like the Raptors have really been good. I don't know, Zena, what do you say?
I'm actually struggling with this one. I feel like Toronto's got to bounce back. They took that L against Boston over the course of the weekend. And yes, I think we got called out on some platform about like not giving love to Boston. Boston's going to get their love. Okay. They're steady, they're consistent, etc. One team that's been a little up and down is New York, but that offense is hopping. Yeah. I'm wondering if this is the moment where they go, you know what? We're not letting NBA Daily talk about our defense anymore. We're going to show up against the Raptors. Okay, we're proving Dave DuFour wrong.
Jalen Brunson is listening every morning with his pancakes.
Yeah,
yes,
Jalen Brunson's like, we got to drag James Edwards to Vegas.
I'm taking the Knicks. Sorry, yes.
No, to be honest with you, I think the smart money is with the Knicks too, because the Raptors have lost 5 of their last 6. They have had the worst offense in the NBA since RJ Barrett has been out. And they don't look as good as they did in November when we were highlighting them and talking about them. So I think there is some concerns here. I will say, though, there is a little bit of like back against the wall type of stuff with the Raptors. They have been struggling a lot. This is a big moment game. The guys will rise up for this game in a big way. So maybe it's one of those things where this is the, part that breaks a levee, whatever you want to call it, where they can really get a win. So we'll see. That Knicks road record is scary, though. I will say that is a tough thing to overcome.
Yeah. So you're going with the Raptors? Is that?
No, I'm going to go with the Knicks. I think the Knicks will win that game. I think they will do it. Yeah.
Again, going with the Toronto Raptors
you look
here.
So disappointed, Dave.
I'm picking the Raptors. You guys are picking against me every single time, and you don't know my picks, but you know what? I think that again,
to the side if you want,
the Raptors. I think that their defense will be able to hold up against what the Knicks are trying to do. I think that they can create turnovers, and I think that they can get a win.
That's true. Yeah. I'm going to tell you, I'm a little biased towards the Knicks in general, for a reason that has nothing to do with basketball. I don't know if you guys saw that clip of Josh Hart checking into the game and giving his baby away to Mitchell Robinson.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Best clip ever.
Was it like bring your kid to work day?
I mean, gently, but like realizes he has to go do his job and just gives his baby to his teammate in mid NBA fashion. I mean, such a good clip.
There's also Family Day in Toronto today in the Celtics game. So I wonder if it's maybe a league-wide thing.
Maybe.
I don't know.
But a kid on the bench is crazy. But yeah.
Look, I'm open for the Raptors to prove me wrong, by the way. Maybe I'm doing the thing where they're listening, and I'm
reverse psychology.
S's face is going to be on the bulletin board. Send it to Darko. All right. Suns Thunder. Guys, the question is, 25-1 for the Thunder, because we're moving on. They're going to win this game against the Suns. They're going to be 24-1 after they beat the Suns on Tuesday.
Yeah, crazy. Insane.
So it's really a question of how much they'll beat them.
I mean, it feels like it, right? As fun of a story as the Suns have been, the Thunder moved to 23-1 with a win on Sunday without Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. It was the Utah Jazz, okay, but they're now 23-1. They're a machine. I think that they're going to wind up 24-1. They just are overpowering to every single team. The Suns just don't have enough.
And like the fact the Suns have kind of been faltering here without Devin Booker
Without
too.
Devin Booker, yeah.
So the offense isn't there, and I don't expect Booker to play in this game either. So yeah, it's going to be tough for Phoenix to win this.
We're here talking about Booker's lone absence shifting and changing what Phoenix can do, and Shea's been out, Lou Dort's been out. Like this is like it doesn't matter who's in or out for OKC. It's plug and play for them. So
AJ Mitchell's in there. That's all that matters. And by the way, the little nugget I keep thinking about is that AJ Mitchell signed this tiny contract for NBA players, right? And he has been so good. I have to think that the rest of the guys on the Thunder are like, hey, we got to do this for AJ. We got to get this guy some money.
We'll pull up all of our money and just give it all to AJ after the tournament. Why not? Also, just want to mention this for Suns Thunder. Dylan Brooks versus SGA. That's something to watch for. Two Canadian guys. They like going at each other a lot. If there's one guy who can be chippy and like get in under some guy's skin, it's Dylan Brooks. So just watch out for that.
Man. All right. And we got Lakers, Spurs in LA to finish it off on Wednesday. No Victor Wembanyama for the Spurs. Doubt there's going to be Stephen Castle. I don't believe so.
Injuries in all of these games, by the way.
All of the games.
Yep.
The Spurs
are still... can't feel too bad for the Cavs.
That's right. They got to win regardless. But the Spurs have managed to win some games here and there. Harrison Barnes has been very good in this stretch. But we just talked about the Lakers and how good that they've looked, especially with all three of their guys out there. This feels like, and I'm not going to look for the NBA. If you wind up with Thunder Lakers Saturday night in Vegas in the semifinal game for the NBA Cup, that's
a win.
Yeah, that's a home run, buddy. So I'm not saying that the league is going to make sure that the Lakers get there, but I bet that there's a moment where you feel like, wait a second, how many free throws Austin Reeves got? I mean, because the Lakers are going to win this game regardless. But man, I'm ready for the conspiracies to just start flying.
Yeah, especially because the Lakers are elite at drawing free throws. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, Luka and Austin are very good at getting to the free throw line. And so the conspiracies will be flying.
And it's going to be awful because, I mean, for example, we just talked about LeBron, 29 points, shot 2 free throws.
Yeah.
Like, that's frustrating. Like, what are you supposed to do with that? These two guys over here are getting you baited in every 2 seconds. And then this other guy is just scoring up your backside at will. And he's not baiting fouls. Like, I mean, which he can, but he just doesn't need to. Yeah, that's going to be interesting.
Can I ask you guys a question? What do you guys of the 4 games, which do you think is going to be the closest, the most competitive of games?
I'm going to say Knicks Raptors.
Knicks Raptors. Okay.
I agree.
I think I agree there. I think that's the game between all 4 of these. Yeah.
And then the second one would be Magic Heat.
Oh, I'm going to actually say Lakers Spurs.
Ooh.
I think the Spurs will play them close. I think it'll be competitive, but the Lakers will eventually win. I
just don't think the Spurs have the firepower to hang with those guys. I mean, the way that the Lakers offense runs when Reeves, Luka, and LeBron are out there at the same time.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see the Thunder guarding it if we get to see that Saturday night, because I do think that that's going to be an eye-opening experience for everybody. To have 3 high-level playmakers like this is a fairly new thing. But to be able to play defense the way that the Thunder do, I don't know. I'm pulling for this personally because that's what I want to see.
Yeah.
I'll be honest.
No, that's a good Final 4. So are we going? All right, Lakers, Thunder, we're chalk, right? And then on the East side, we've got Heat Knicks or Heat Raptors. Okay. All right.
Yeah. All right, guys, let us know who you're picking in the comments over on YouTube. Leave us a 5-star review wherever you listen to podcasts. I don't know if you do reviews on YouTube. I'm not really a comment guy on the internet. But that's going to do it for the show, folks. Thank you guys for listening. For Es Baraheni and Zena Keita, I'm Dave DuFour, and this has been the NBA Daily. Thanks for waking up with us.